AC-130 in the air.
The AC-130. It's the world's biggest flying artillery gun. Its enemies know it as hell in the sky.
So the guns are obviously what make the gunship the gunship. We have 3 side-firing weapons. We can shoot 2 of them at the same time, either at the same target or at separate targets.
Toward the front of the plane, the 25mm Gatling gun.
This is the 25mm GAU-12 Gatling gun, called the crowd pleaser. From the 350-round burst, it's just 12 seconds of a fireball coming out the side of the aircraft. It's pretty impressive.
Behind it is a weapon in service since World War II, the 40mm Bofors cannon.
We fire up to 100 rounds a minute. This is our most accurate weapon. Because of its low collateral damage, it's the one we get to fire the most in combat.
In the back is the gunship's specialty, the deadly and ferocious 105.
This is the 105mm howitzer. This is the biggest gun we have on the gunship. Its firepower is unmatched by any other airframe.
This massive cannon can fire approximately 10 rounds per minute. It recoils with enough force to bench press over 20,000 pounds.
We can put these on vehicles, hardened targets, buildings, any kind of structure that we need penetrated.
No other gunship puts more rounds on the ground, and troops in Afghanistan need every bullet. Over Afghanistan, Major Aaron Hall's AC-130 gunship prepares to fire at Taliban soldiers.
You're cleared on the big square building. You can go ahead and level it.
His calculations must be perfect, or he risks gunning down the troops he's sworn to defend. It's up to him to choose the weapons. He selects the 25mm and the 40mm to target the Taliban street fighters. For insurgents shooting from the buildings, he picks the 105. Moments later, sensor operators target the enemy with the guns.
Moving. Good, get back on those guys. Here we go.
And fire.
Yeah.
We began firing anything within 50, 60 meters, hitting any of the structures where we were seeing small arms fired.
It's enough firepower to make most fighters turn tail. To take out the enemy without killing the friendlies, the AC-130 crew takes a huge risk. Just one miscalculation could be deadly.
You're holding your breath the entire time, just hoping that everything you've done has been right. And as soon as the round went off, the enemy element dropped.
Crew of 13, made up of the pilot, co-pilot and navigator. These work alongside the fire control officer, electronic warfare officer, flight engineer, TV operator, infrared detection set operator, loadmaster, and no fewer than 4 aerial gunners. It measures 29.8 meters in length and 11.7 meters in height. Its 40.4 meter wingspan has an area of 162.2 square meters, while its maximum takeoff weight is 70.3 tons. Power comes from a choice of 2 sets of engines, depending on the model. Either 4 Alinson T56A15 turboprop engines, each coming in at 4,300 horsepower each, or 4 Rolls-Royce AE 2100D3 with 4,700 horsepower each. These allow it to have a maximum speed of 260 knots, around 300 miles per hour.
It was designed from the very get-go to be the ultimate gunship. Most of that turned out to be true, but some of it took a little bit more work.
Well, this would have had several advantages over the H model. The H model was all opened up. It had no, you could pressurize it, but you'd have to take the guns off, you'd have to close doors up and all that, and it wouldn't be a gunship. This thing was built to be able to pressurize, fly at a higher altitude and cruise, which is a better fuel efficiency and everything, and then come in and depressurize and do its job. So you can tell it's a big, clumsy airplane. It wouldn't take a gunner very long to find this thing and knock it down in the daytime. In nighttime, they can't even find you. They can hear you, but hopefully you're putting enough bullets down, he's not thinking about sticking his gun up. He just wants to not get hit. So nights are our bread and butter.
We own the night, we like to say. You know, AVSOC does that really well. And, you know, the gunship, I just think the mission was just so cool that that's why I wanted to fly it, and that's why I flew it for as long as I did. Gunships throughout the history of gunships have been a great asset to the guys on the ground, and part of, you know, what we try to accomplish when we go and support those guys on the ground, which is to protect them from the people that are trying to harm them, and so they get to go home every night, and then we get to go home, and we got home every night in this airplane. We were supporting some Navy SEALs. Originally it was they were taking over this village. They were looking for some high value targets. So they asked us to kind of do kind of a wide sweep around the area, just kind of make sure there was nothing going on. And we noticed about 8 individuals sitting in a little ditch that was about 300 meters away from, you know, the outskirts of that village. And we called that in, and they sent in a Navy SEAL team. And as soon as they got there, those guys that were sitting down then stood up and started shooting at them. So 3 of those SEALs got injured, none of them fatally, but 3 of them got injured, and then they asked us to put fire down, and within about 23 seconds we had the first round on the ground.